Well, I was waiting for the live to pop up. So we are now live on our Facebook feed and also on YouTube at the official page of Radio Caribbean International. Good morning and welcome to She Speaks. Of course, it's my first She Speaks since I've returned from vacation. And I think I'm blessed to have the amazing and awesome Sister Rufina here to kick off my first show coming back. It's not light. This not light at all. It's heavy. And I take it just like that. So certainly I am excited this morning. We need to acknowledge our partners who have come on board to ensure that this program is a success. And, they understood the vision from day one. Of course, it's all about inspiring. If you could inspire this one person through every program, it is worth it. All right? People are out there just, trying to get by. And a lot of the times, we just need to see somebody who's done it, who's been doing it, who's doing it, how it is that they're doing it, understand that there's challenges as well, to just give us that little motivation, a little boost, to remind us, hey, it's all right, it can happen, it's possible, and that is the aim. So the people who have come on board to share that vision and to spread that message, the First National Bank and of course courts, we really do appreciate you being on board with us for that. So let's take a word from them. When we come back, you guys already know I expect those numbers to be going up because I know them convent girls, so they have no breaks. No breaks whatsoever. Only about to go and hot up the place this morning because Sister Rufina is here. But by every means necessary, because when someone impacted your life in such a beautiful and magnificent way, you've got to make some noise. So please do send up the numbers. We don't want it any other way. Send up the numbers, share the live if you need to, so that we can do just that. And when we come back, we will definitely start the conversation here. A word from the partners, like I said, the First National Bank and also courts.
Morning, students.
Good morning, teacher.
Let's head back to school.
It's time to get the children ready to head back to school with a back to school loan from First National Bank. Get up to $30,000 for all your back to school needs. No deposit required, low interest rates, and an easy process. Visit any First National Bank location or call 455-7127 for more information. Let's head back to school with First National Bank. Terms and conditions apply. First National Bank, here for you.
Well, we are certainly back. I'm not sure if Mike, I tried with every mic. Yes, sister, how are you doing? You wanted to start on a proper note, and I have absolutely no problem with that. Let's do that.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I just want to begin with a word of prayer, just asking the Lord to bless us, bless our interview, and to bless all those listening wherever you are, that we just pause for a moment to just give thanks, to give praise, and to recognize that God is in everything that we do, and we ask Him to go before us, journey with us, so that this day will be a blessed one for us, and that we have the courage to and the boldness to face our challenges as we go through this day. And so I just want to ask the Lord to bless this space, to bless Mareen and all those who work here, so that whatever they do, it will bring some honor and glory to His name. Amen.
And amen. You might tell all your listen, this you have to listen, you communicate. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
And
Father.
amen. Amen. Indeed. We
Yes.
needed that little blessing to kick things off
Yes.
this morning. Well, I'm good. I'm good now. We're in good spirit.
Yes.
Now, sister, we have so much to talk about. I'm not sure how we fit in this into half an hour, but we're going to try. We will certainly try. Now, I'm going to take it back there with you. When you were a little girl, a little girl, is it
Let's
here?
go
Was
there,
it
let's
here?
go.
Was it here?
Yes,
Right.
I'm from Labrie.
Labrador. From the People's Republic
Oh,
of
Labrie, very
Right.
well. Good
So-
things come from Labrie.
Absolutely. I like Labrador. Let me tell you,
Yes.
they don't know I just disappear. I just go down Labrador, just hide in a little corner. I just take in the vibes. It's good vibe. You know. What did you know? Were you gravitating? Did you understand what was happening in your childhood? Was it being defined at that point that you were heading into that?
Religious life?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think it's up to me. My beginnings as a young person, I came to Castries at the age of 4. My parents are from Labrie, but my father worked in Castries on an estate with a
Mhm.
gentleman called Bertie Cox.
Right.
So he lived in Castries during the week and came home on the weekend. And I, after my parents got married, because we lived with my grandmother, my parents took me up. I don't know why they chose me, but they took Rufina up to Castries to live with them. And at that time, it was a small house they lived in, where access in the yard there. I remember that clearly. I used to go to Bertie Cox's house to sleep. And I decided one day, this is a bigger house, I want to stay there. And, in speaking to Monsignor Patrick Anthony, in those days, he used to journey with me in my spiritual life. He always said, you did not make that choice. God made that choice to place you there because He had destined something for you. And I think it is true because living with the Coxes, um, a lot of my spirituality was developed from there, and I was close to the church, so it did not make it easy. But I went through doubts. I went through a journey as to whether I wanted to be a religious sister, but I so desired to have children of my own. But so I went through these different stages. But I think my first communion, when I made my first communion, something hits me there, and then it disappeared. But I always had that communication with God. I always was in communion.
There was
So
always that
yes, there was
inner
that
thing
inner
saying,
thing.
you didn't probably didn't understand it because listen, at this
No,
age,
no, no.
the human they're battling with it, and you don't really understand all of what is going on, and these things are just there on your mind, and I
Mhm.
could just only imagine
So
where
it
you
comes
were.
and goes. So even at school, what shocked me when I went to the convent, I was in Form 1, and they would always ask you, so what do you want to be when you grow up? And I surprised myself. I stood up and I said, I want to be a nun. And afterwards, I felt so embarrassed. I sat because you're going to get jokes from
Yes,
your friends.
right.
But I don't know why I said it. And again, the Spirit prompts us in ways that we do not understand. We do not understand. And I went through secondary school, and then I think in Form 4, friends who knew me well did not think that was the life for me. Other friends who saw me on the surface may have said, okay, it's all right. But I remember when I did enter, because I mean, I partied, I did everything, and then it was just like, I remember my adopted parents sending me overseas, going to Canada for a while, thinking that would change my mind, that I would change my mind. But somehow or other, I was even more encouraged to, and I felt the spirit of God. I think sometimes God really just took me and said, "That's where I put in you. You better stay there."
Right,
Sometimes I feel
right.
that's what it
So you
says.
lived a normal life,
I lived a normal
basically.
life. Oh yes, I enjoyed life. I
Right.
enjoyed life very much. Yes, I went to parties. I partied. I traveled. I did different things. I had friends, but I was still involved in church ministry. But it was balanced, so it's good to see both.
Right.
Yes,
No, no, I like that because no, I'm a little, a
yes,
little woman myself, sometimes, the societal
yes,
pressures can make you
yes,
feel, and sometimes we end up saying, boy, the pressure coming and we just choose one and we end up choosing the wrong
yes.
because we don't want to deal with, say,
Hmm.
hey, you're in church, you want to sing and then you want to be there, you want to live in the world and you
Yes,
want to, and same. So you here are testament,
yes,
that what, it is okay to have a
yes.
balanced life.
It is okay. I mean, I was a Juve person.
Yes, sister, that's true.
Oh yes, oh yes. I liked my. In fact, I jumped Juve the same year. I think my last Juve was in February because Carnival was in February at the time, and I entered in September. I love music. I love to dance. I love it.
Right.
Yes, and
And
it's
it
how
didn't
you do
stop
it.
you.
It's
It
how
didn't
you do
stop
things.
you.
Yes, it's
It
how
didn't
you
stop
do
you
things.
from
Yes,
realizing the goals and having such a great impact. We're about to come to that in a minute.
yes,
But wow,
yes.
listen, you see what
I think that's what really helped me too. In the
decision
as a
making.
yes, and as a teacher, because you're able to bring in your own experience into the classroom,
Right.
to share with the girls so that they too, realize that you create a balanced life in everything you do. But at the center, it all there's a person that has to be the center, and that's God.
Right.
Yes, and
Ah,
that's what's going to help us with our discernment process.
right. And you must give yourself grace in the process, is it?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
because you can't fight to push one agenda.
Hmm.
You just have to have the alignment and say, well, all
Yes.
right, you in charge there. Tell me
It's
where I go.
always at the center.
Right.
Always at
So
the
tell
center.
me where I'm going.
Yes.
And this is okay. This
Mhm.
is
Very
fine.
much so.
This is the way
Yes.
it should be.
Hmm.
So people
I
shouldn't
think
feel pressured.
if if we're more focused that we are not on our own and that there is there is the creator, there is somebody who drives us, there is our God, there's a God who guides us. I think things become less complicated.
Wow.
But it calls for us of trust and faith.
Yes.
Calls for
Yes.
trust and faith.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Now we're going to take a word from the partners. Yeah. When we
Okay.
come up, we're going to talk about your entry into the education part of it because that
Okay.
is where you have a really, really remarkable impact.
Thank
And I
you.
say that because you are retired and
Yes.
cruising and thing. We're coming back to that in a minute. Let's
Okay.
take a word from the partners, the First National Bank and also Quartz. And remember, guys, please feel free to share the live. We are here with Sister Rufina, and we're having a beautiful and it's kicked off on the right note already. So you don't want to miss this. Although you can always go back and look at it. God bless technology. But it'd be nice to be here in the first, I learn the thing as it goes on. So let's take the word. When we come up, we definitely will be going into um, her a journey as an education, well, in the education field as well.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you. Get vivid views and Corsica. View the world in the latest frames and lens. Double your savings with 50% off credit purchases, 24 months and over, 25% off cash purchases. Wear it now and pay later. Plus, you can book your eye examination appointment online today on www.quartzoptical.com. Get vivid views only at Quartz Optical. Value you can see. Offer ends September 2024.
Yes.
And we are back. We're here with Sister Rufina,
Mm.
and we're having such a beautiful conversation. Sister Rufina is a bacchanalist, but a bacchanalist for God. You know what they say?
Yes, for God.
I'm a rebel for God.
For God,
But
yes.
there is never a question as to who's in charge of all of this. So,
Yes.
and that's the beauty of it all.
Yes.
Bunsi, good morning and welcome. We're talking now about your entry now into because okay, so you transitioning, everything seems to have been aligning you into that path. But not just the usual what they taught us to be you were actually a perfect balance between the two, but it was always clear with people that interacted with you what
Yes.
this was. This was a pure woman. This was a woman, you could learn from. This was a woman who is definitely driven by God. You
And it's
know,
important because you talk about people who surround you, and the people who surrounded me, my friends at that time, and the people I interacted with, they were a support system too. And they did not choose for me, but they gave me the support, and I got the support from them to be who I wanted to be. But the way we recreated, the way we partied, we did it knowing that there were ways we had to control ourselves and conduct ourselves.
absolutely. Let's
Yes.
talk
So,
about your entry into the educational system. That was way in after you became a nun. Or how did it
before
happen?
I
Before?
became a nun,
Wow.
before I became a religious sister, that was part of my discernment. I always wanted to be a secretary.
Mhm.
So my first certificate was in secretarial studies. That's from, we call it Sir Arthur, but at the time we called it Mount Technical College. After I worked with the Archbishop. That was my first job. But then I was encouraged to enter teaching to see whether that's what I wanted and whether it would have, that given me a broader vision as to whether I wanted to move into religious life and to
Okay.
understand. Although some felt that going into the teaching would have not provided me with the freedom to choose otherwise. But again, the man of
Divine.
the center, the divine intervention.
Divine.
So I went into teaching in 1984. I taught for a year, a young, made a lot of mistakes as a teacher. Because every time you go to study, you realize the errors that you've made, and you come back and you want to do different.
Yeah.
So I went in 84, and then I entered religious life in 85, taught in St. Vincent between 88 and 89, and then I came back to St. Lucia in 89 to be at St. Judas Convent. And teaching is beautiful. Being an educator, I don't think sometimes people realize the role of an educator to society. It is a place because it's not a matter of just teaching, it's a matter of educating. And there's a difference.
Molding.
Because yes, because you are molding, you are touching lives, you have to be example, you have to create spaces and opportunities for children who may not have it otherwise. So the way you impact the way and it taught me a lot that the way we educate is what we're going to receive out there. There's something I say to the teachers all the time. I say we have to be careful because these are our leaders. These are the people who go to make decisions for us. And depends on the way you treat them, it's the kind of decision they're going to make for us that will impact our lives when we have no control. If you know what I'm talking about. Yes. So often I give the example of the way you treat a child, you might end up in a hospital, and when you open your eyes, it's somebody you're not kind to. And this child will say, um, should I give up on her because she gave up on me?
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So education, it is how would I would describe an educator? An educator is it's it's part of the divine too in
Yeah.
a way that it's a
It's a
vocation.
vocation.
It's a
Right.
vocation, and you have to love it to do it. You have
And you
to love
have
it
to
to do
have
it.
that inside. You have
Yes,
to understand it from that perspective. If you just
yes.
think of it as a job,
Mhm. The teaching education could never be just a job. It is a vocation because you have to go beyond. Always beyond. Money could never cover it. You have to go beyond
right.
for us to make
was it
that impact.
was it in the time in your time entering into the education system,
Mhm.
we had a lot more educators, service providers within the field who
Yeah.
actually thought and they were like that. They
Mhm.
understood it from that
Right.
perspective.
Mhm.
When you look in today, and I'm not putting you on the spot, but
Mhm.
you're a big woman, you can speak. And you're
Mhm.
brave enough, and I think you've earned the right to be able to speak on matters of that sort.
Yes.
If you look in, when you're looking now at some of the system, not to knock any one
Mhm.
person or in particular, um, I think we have lost. That's me thinking. We
Mhm.
have lost a lot of that. Like most people now, it's like a job, so they don't really go beyond. And do you think that that is having a very adverse impact on our society?
I'm looking at the early stage of education I'm looking now, and be mindful. Sometimes we think that what happened before was better, but I look at the time where the focus was on the intelligent child.
Hmm.
A lot was done for the intelligent child, the child who's bright, so also the focus was given there. But we're in a time now where people are having a better understanding of this. And I can talk for my school and I say to the children all the time, what you are receiving now, I did not receive all of it. And some of your teachers did not. Because sometimes persons are going beyond their time. And I mean, you're looking at nowadays, they didn't have SBA. And you have teachers who really take time to just be with students. I had a teacher who would come in because she realized her children were weak, and she would come in 7:30, come and get the keys so that she could get them there at that time on a morning. And I'm really grateful for that. And and sometimes you try to reach out to children to give them the additional assistance, and parents don't understand.
Ah,
They think if it's a Saturday, that's not a school day. And sometimes we have to appreciate, and because the teachers know the children, they know what will make that child, and
mm,
sometimes you have to give the additional support. So I am saying now, I mean, you may not always have the perfect teacher,
mhm,
but when I look at my time, I look now, I see a lot of time given and also care
coming
being
from.
given, yes, given to children.
Wow. So that this
Yes.
could really and truly be a myth that we also need to rethink in how we portraying
Yes.
that narrative out there as
Yes,
well.
yes. Sometimes we knock off teachers, but
Yes.
sometimes you have to look at where they go beyond, where
Right.
they spend their own money, their
Maybe not
personal
we're not
money.
looking in that direction. We're looking
No,
for it elsewhere, but they're
yes,
actually doing it in a
yes.
different area.
Sometimes they're the one mother and father and children,
Wow.
and we have to look at that. I think we are moving more away from where, the long hair and the nice hair and the color. It happened in the past. It
Yes.
happened in the past, and you try to. I'm praying that as we move into into a new age, that people look beyond that. People look beyond that and look at the child, the needs of the child.
How many years? You've now retired. How many years did you spend in the education system?
Ooh.
About.
I started teaching in '84 and I'm retired in 24.
Right.
So
That's that. Yeah. Do the math. I will do the math. Not me. Yeah. Sorry.
it's
I'll do
over
I'll calculate
it's
yourself.
34 years and 10 months,
Right.
according to the
Um.
Ministry of Education.
There's so many questions running through my
Yes,
mind that I want
go
to throw at you right
anytime,
now.
go
But
anytime.
listen, what's the highlight of it for you now that you're retiring? I'm not sure if you can you retire really. You know these things you get like radio is like that.
I Yes, you need a break sometimes.
Or maybe you're taking a break, but
You need a
retire.
break, you
Are
need
you?
a
I might
break.
find you back in it sometimes. So when you're
Yes,
bonded in such a way with and impacted and realize how
yes.
you have been used as a transportation, a tool to
Mhm.
be able to impact. Sometimes you can't just get up and lead the thing. No.
Yes. But the thing is that the Sisters of St. Joseph of Cluny, the congregation I belong to, we have a number of schools. So you know that there's schools in Trinidad, in Grenada, in St. Vincent, St. Joseph's Convent Secondary Schools.
Yes.
So we are managers of our schools. So it is our responsibility, and it's my responsibility now to ensure that the ethos, our plans for our school and our vision for our school continues. So I'm still in a managerial
Right. So
position.
it's not
I'm not
retired like
administrator.
ministry.
Yes.
Understood. Now
Yes.
that makes sense. Because I know you can't just get up and leave the
Yeah.
thing. I mean, I know you just come from a little cruise, which is
Oh yes.
deserving.
I still feel I need to be cruising.
I know, right? I agree. I totally agree. But
Yes.
you definitely when you're inducted in that kind of way,
Yes.
you have to constantly. Once you're
Yes.
still breathing, I
Mhm.
think there's always room for you to do
Yes.
something or to impact still. Now, what would you say if you were to think of your entire both
Yes.
in religious and also in the educational aspect? What would be some or one, if one stands out, or maybe there might be many that stands out, some of the highlights from that life and that journey and that impact you're able to have. We're going to talk a little bit about the impact in a while because we've got a million and one young ladies out there. You want you say convent, they jump up on their sister Rufina, and you understand. So you would have had to really impacted them. For them to hold on to this so tightly because there are people I don't remember from a school, man. You understand? But there are some
Yes.
I remembered because they
Yes.
had a wonderful impact on me, on
Okay.
where I am today. So you've done that for quite a lot of people as well. But
Yeah.
can you remember like some of the highlights from
Okay.
that journey?
What stands out to me always, I had a student. She was challenged in many ways, and she could appear to be difficult. In fact, it was a difficult journey with her. And I think that was the most challenging time for me because where others felt that she needed to be out of the school, I was challenged. I've never prayed so much in my life every day that this child will not do something to harm or to cause
Uh,
greater problem. But looking at her background, that's what SJC is about. It's not just about the academics, it's to helping a child find herself, helping a child heal. And seeing that child graduate, come up for awards evening, that was my greatest, I think that was the school's greatest achievement for me in my time.
right.
In my time, not giving up on that
On that
child.
child because there you are
Yes.
now. You have to battle with the school and everybody and their mental and how they
And,
think. Oh, the
right.
school is supposed to be this, and you have this.
Mhm.
But that is going to put us. And have that spiritual also that you have that
Mhm.
spiritual conviction you have to hold
Yes.
up to, because God wouldn't give up on Shay. Jesus said,
Yes.
"Don't give up on Shay." So yeah,
Yes.
if I were standing here as a representative,
Mhm.
I can't give up on her no matter how
Yes.
difficult she gets.
And
Wow.
that you see, as a religious within the school and the school managed and owned by the sisters, you could not always deal with the discipline the way others want you to
Right.
deal with it. So there are times you have to be sympathy, you have to be charitable, but yet still you have to bring in the discipline aspect of it. But you have to understand. Sometimes just knowing why,
Hmm.
why you behaving that way.
Right.
What's happened? Sometimes a child will be and you just ask why. The child breaks down to everything, and then you understand. Okay, I cannot punish her at school. If she's been punished at home, she's been punished elsewhere.
Oh.
How do you marry the two? How do you help that child to understand what you're doing is not right? But yes, I understand through this. And I always say to them, the power is within. Do not anybody tell you cannot or you cannot be. The power is within you. Always the power is within you.
Okay, I'm going to ask the next question. As a strictly educator minus a religious, do
Yes.
you think some of these things would have been possible for you to overcome or dealt with? The
Um,
spirituality had to play a very
the
vital role.
spirituality had to play a vital role. And then I thank God for community because that's what helped me too. That I had a community to go to. I had a community to ask to assist me in praying for situations. So that was the support I got from my community, my religious community. So that gave me that really carried me through these 19 years of being administrator at the school. The support of the community, the prayers, then you cannot do it without prayer. This school was run by prayer. When I was asked to take on St. Joseph's Convent, I hesitated because people expected so much. People wanted to demand so much. People felt that the school was going to fall if Sister Rufina takes the school. You know, people go into your background. People remember you in your past and not in your present. And that is where we always have to give people a chance to be. And it's the same thing with with the children. We give people a chance to be. Sometimes the very child you think would not make it is a child who stands out, the child who will shine. And that was the irony for me. So then when I decided, I said, Lord, I give the school to you. I cannot do it alone. You take charge. And he guided me right through.
This is
He
so
showed me.
beautiful.
He showed me so
This is
much.
beautiful. This is
Yes, he
beautiful.
showed me.
And you see why again you've been such a handpicked transport. Because there again, you have gone through so many of these human thing where God stepped in and said, "This is my child.
Yes,
I put her there. You cannot."
yes,
And this is
mhm,
such a testament
yes,
for the normal human being, because so
mhm,
many times on a daily basis we give up because we do not have that spiritual guidance or groundedness.
yes.
And when the world comes at us and say, "Well, who are you to think you are?" or
Right.
"Who are you to think that you're capable?"
Mhm.
Because God telling you one thing and you seeing it there, but when you had seen it, God telling you because it's written on your
Yes,
heart
yes.
and template, and then here is the world telling you, but they
When the
laugh and they
world
say,
tell
"Well,
you cannot, I always say God used it was what it was. Can't remember the actual verse, but he used a jaw of a jackass to save a whole nation.
absolute."
So
Right.
he could use this one.
Thank you very much. Let me tell you about you. Listen, sister, I think I need to find some of your retirement time and go sit down a whole day with you because I like this. You can tell, right? I'm enjoying this so much.
Yes,
But
yes,
what's now? Well, of course, you're part of the managerial now.
yes.
What are some of the future plans that you have for yourself? What does retirement mean for you?
I'm
What do you
still
hope
in
to
the
do?
process. I'm still in transition. Right now, I
Yeah.
try to give time to my gardening, give time to my gardening, and the flowers are blooming.
Oh, great.
They're blooming. So I'm
Oh,
so happy for
lovely.
that. But I'm still in transition because I would, I'm not stopping now. I'm not
Yeah.
stopping now by
I
the
don't
grace of
see it.
God. If He gives me the good health
Mm.
for me to move on into something else, but I cannot pinpoint. I have things in mind, but I cannot pinpoint anyone now. but I will not be just sitting idly.
Absolutely,
I
I
will
don't
not
see
be
that at all.
cruising all the time. Yes.
That
So
is not in your fabric at all. And
no.
you just and you're still very God grace. You're still very vibrant.
Yes.
You look like you have a lot of energy still. So I'm
Thank
certainly
God.
looking forward. We want to take the time to tell you, well, happy retirement from that section of
Thank
something.
you so
But
much,
I think
Mareen.
you've got a lot to offer again still to come.
Yes.
Now I'm going to give you the opportunity, if there's anything, because you've given us so much to walk away with here
Yes.
today already.
Yes.
Again, it just
Mhm.
aligns with the divinity.
Mhm.
I'm just going to open up the mic for you. It's time for closing. So what do you want to leave with our listeners and viewers?
I just want to say to listeners, viewers, that God is the center, and make Him the center of your life. And there's so much confusion, so much chaos, and we just have to allow God to be our center, to help us in our discernment process, to guide us, and listen to where God is calling you to be. Listen to what He's calling of you, and don't be afraid, because when He calls, He leads and He guides.
I know they have this thing that says that, I don't want to get the final word, but
Yeah.
as you say that, it just came to mind. It's a God call, or you equip the call, or you don't call the equipped. He equipped you when he calls you.
He
So even
does.
if you don't
If
feel
you feel
equipped,
unworthy,
yes.
even though you feel and with God, we know where people judge us,
Mhm.
God does not. He's a forgiving God, and He always wants us to come back to start afresh.
Absolutely.
So let us not give up on ourselves. And I would just like the viewers, listeners, we have a new principle. Do not compare her to me. She's her own person. Let her
Give
be,
her a
and
chance.
give her that space to be, because she has a lot to
Absolutely. Oh gosh, you see? Wonderful. Sister Rufina, you are amazing. And I am absolutely honored to have had you as my first guest back from vacation.
offer.
You
Thank
back from
you.
cruise, I from vacation. That is alignment. That is what
Oh,
we have.
indeed it is. And thanks for
Certainly.
having
Thank you
me.
so much. It
Yes,
was
thank
such
you.
an honor and a pleasure this morning.
Yes,
Very
thanks.
uplifting. All right, guys. Well, that's our show for today. You can join us again next Tuesday, God's willing, right here again at 10:30. We'll have another awesome solution woman sitting in and it wouldn't be Sister Rufina. Whoever it is, you got to give her a chance. You hear how the Sister Rufina break it down. So whoever it is, you have to give them a chance and hear their story and let them be. Give them some room. Yeah. So that is a mission. I think that's a take home now. That's a take home. Learn to give people an opportunity to be and see what it is that they bring to the table. Give them an honest opportunity. Yeah? Genuine opportunity to be and see what it is that they're coming with. That is our show. The First National Bank, we appreciate you. Courts, we love you. Stay tuned. Hyper is coming up next. I'm going to be gone until 2 o'clock. I'll be back at 2 o'clock. God's willing.
Morning, students.
Good morning, teacher.
Let's head back to school.
It's time to get children ready to head back to school. For back to school loan from First National Bank. Get up to $30,000 for all your back to school needs. No deposit required, low interest rates, and an easy process. Visit any First National Bank location or call 455-7127 for more information. Let's head back to school with First National Bank. Terms and conditions apply. First National Bank, here for you.
It's a mega flash sale! Only at once! Act now! And save up to 50% off selected items across the store! No cash, no problem! Shop with ready finance and pay nothing for 30 days! This offer is available in store only! Good for a limited time or while supplies last! Conditions apply! What? We can follow you home! Comes out, deals out. This summer, get up to 35% off rims. Buy three, get one free on selected tires. Or 15% off car care and the tools at Automotive Arts. Make your vehicle sleek and shine for the summer. We just got a fresh shipment of the hottest rims. Plus, a healthy stock of premium Axiom detailing products to get your car summer ready. From wash to wax to polishes and compounds, we've got you covered. Suns out, shine out, and show out. Only at Automotive Arts. Limited time offer. See stores for details. BMW
presents a grand fundraising old school country and western dance on Saturday, September 14th, 2024 from 7 p.m. onwards. Upstairs the Caskey's Market, featuring DJ Tip Top, DJ Shadow, DJ Max, DJ Leroy, and other guest DJs. Admission is only $10. Lots of eats and drinks on sale. Come out and support a worthy cause.
It's giving back to school with the Digicel and